Right, we're here with the finals of the Penny Dreadful tournament. I'm excited just to watch the finals just because I'm here. It's an interesting matchup. On one side, we have Archangel with the Jun Cat Oven deck that keeps crushing me. And I'm looking at the list now. It's a really I think it's a really solid list. Got Call of Familiar Mayhem Devil, Savvy Hunter, Golgari Findbroker is a really interesting card, especially with like stuff like Vessel Nascency. And they're also playing Golgari Germination, an enchantment that whenever a creature dies, they get a 1/1 stopping token. So it's a pretty reasonable list. On the other side, Apology, we played in round one. They're playing the mono blue, sort of like control, like aggro control deck with Terramanders, Primarch Cutthroats, Unexpected Augur Bolus, and pile of counter spells, some situational, some good. A couple of unsummons as well. I like this list a lot just because they're playing unsummon and Terramander. It's gonna be I think it's a really interesting match. It's gonna be about who gets your engines online first. Um, Looks like Archangel went on the play, so they let off of the tap land. I think it really depends on like how many counter spells, like which of the right counters come from Apology here out of the mono blue deck. Like Essence Capture is like amazing, but if you actually like really think about it, just looking at the list, Essence Capture only hits like 16 cards out of it. So I think things like Mana Leak are like the most important card. And Terramander is like a perfect kind of card. It's like a 1/1 just flying, and the more things you do, the better it gets towards in the long run. So like pretty much every spell here should get countered, and Archangel can't do anything except just try. Like this can get hit. The thing is about Essence Capture and Terramander, which we found out in the first round, is that if you put the counter on his Terramander, then that means he can't actually adapt it later. So instead of going for that, they decided to play a Cutthroat. Attack for one. Not to say that they have Essence Capture. They might actually have Essence Capture, but that's kind of a funny non-bow. It's actually a really funny non-bow there. I'd like an attack here from the Savvy Hunter, but instead the Unsummon's going to get hit. And this is a great Unsummon here, because now if you have Essence Capture, it's perfect on the Cutthroat. It gives it 2 counters. One with the ability of Cutthroat, and the other just having Essence Capture. But instead, they're just going to pass. And it's just going to get worse. Like, if Apology is just holding counters, like, what are you going to do here? There's no, like, main deck discard for the Jun deck. So, I don't know. The longer you wait, the worse it gets, right? So you just kind of have to hope that it all works out. Maybe they're just holding negates instead of Mana Leak or Essence Capture. Maybe you just hope they have the wrong thing. Power Sync for one. Power Sync's pretty good here. Now this could be like the blue matchup here. The other Terramander's got down, adding the pressure. And the Cutthroat's pretty amazing in this like aggro control shell. Just sitting back, like playing a lot of cheap threats, and then just like having all these like cheap counter magic, which is like really unheard of, I think, in like most seasons. You don't have this many like 2 mana interaction. We have power sinks, we've had negates before, we've had cards like Essence Capture, we've had like Essence Scatter, but not like Mana Leak like style. Not a Mana Leak like card. Negate hits a Trail of Crumbs. That's just like insult to injury. Another trail. There is one thing you can take solace in. There's no 1 mana counter spells. No spells, no like. I think there is a null, but no one would play that main deck. No one would write my deck. Unless they're crazy. I don't know. Maybe there's a crazy person out there. I'm sorry, I'm not calling you crazy. I just think you're not thinking smart. Like if you're playing a null main deck, I have no reason why you would play a null. Which stuff is going to come down? It's not really threatening because there's no creatures out, but with the trail could kind of find a creature here if he decides to sack the food. Archangel it is. But this is a big board. This is a 5/4, and I think they have enough mana to adapt one of these. Let's see. They have 3 instants, so it's actually 5. They're short 1. No, it's 4. Costs 4 to do, right? Yeah. So I don't think this is enough. I don't think the mana leak's not even necessary. Oh no, they can block. They can block the Brinehorn though. I think you're just kind of like going all on these Terramanders, in my opinion. Because you adapt one, you adapt the other, and don't you just kill them right there? Yeah, they had 4 mana up, and yeah, they had 3 things in their graveyard, so it would cost 4 to do. No, it's 5. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. It's late. It's like 4 a.m. for me. I cannot do anything. I'm still stunned at the other thing. Either. Still stunned that I drew the preview when I called it. But yeah, the writing's on the wall here. There's no more cards left for Archangel. And yeah, Apologies can just kind of evolve these other person, evolve this other Terramander, and that'll be it. I mean, they could just like sack 2 foods, but I don't think it's really enough. There's a lot of damage on the board. Okay, Bond of Flourishing is not bad. Main deck 4. These are 4 Bond of Furnishings in this deck. I'm actually really impressed with this card. There's a ton of permanents in this deck. I think it only doesn't hit like other Bonds of Flourishing and Status Statue. That's it. Everything else it hits. So it's got a lot of hits. It's a very good green Anticipate for sure. But it also gains life, which is really good in this like really early season aggro decks. Not drinking anymore. A little late for candy. I mean candy. This is kind of all for naught here. I guess you're deciding whether to pay. If you don't have nothing better to do, I definitely think you pay. Okay, they found a familiar. I still think this is not good enough because these are going to be like 5/5s. It's going to be 2 big dragons, salamander drakes, basically dragons. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's still 10 in the air. Adapt attack. That's all I got to do, I think. I think this is the way that you beat these oven decks. That you just like present more damage, and they can kind of like dink and dunk their way out of with these like little like life gaining bobble things. And you can see the difference when they don't have a Mayhem Devil. The deck is way different. The deck is like absolutely different. So out the board here, Duress is going to be really nice. Sort of answers this. Scrabbling Claws is going to be okay against Terramanders. Not the best card, but you know you don't really need much. But I like Duress a lot. I don't really like Pyroclasm. It's also on their board. 4 of them, in fact. So like I just like Duress, just kind of like protect your spells from counters. On the other side, again, Scrabbling Claws could be good. You can kind of like break up this called familiar action. They're also playing that Storev, so you can kind of like mess that up. Flash Freeze is also a really good card. Counters like Mayhem Devil, counters Trail of Chromes, the card advantage engines. So not much you really need to do. Maybe like Forbid might be a little bit slow for this matchup, so we can just cut those out from the Jundubbin deck. Sad Statue is not like really great. Gargant Germination is a bit slow, I would say. So maybe those are cards to consider. Sad Statue's not that bad. It's only like one of the few cards. You kind of need to like direct Like I think one of the cards the Jund deck lacks is like something like an ultimate price, a really cheap answer to creatures. Because they're kind of ignoring creatures, honestly. They're just kind of ignoring creatures just to go for like yeah, Mayhem Devil kills, so surprised to see not even something like a Banewhip Punisher, which is something like you can sack and kill when you get counters, or like a Necrotal, something like that. I think out of the blue, if you want to beat the blue decks, it's just really important to like bottleneck them to a point where they can't protect their creatures because they only really play like there's only a couple of creatures that really kill you, like the Terramanders and the Brianhorn Cutthroats. Okay, so the Apology brought the claws in. I think it's like fair. It's a fair card to play. Oven from Archangel. No cat yet. Also 2 mana for one of the potential millions of counter spells that can happen. Actually, another card I would actually really like, if you're playing these Jund decks. I know it's kind of hard because you're kind of like black, green, splash reds. Maybe like Rhythm of the Wild. If you're creatures that can't be countered, that'd be kind of a good step. But I think that like you have to rework the mana base. I think green's like really important in this deck. With, between like Trail of Chromes, Savvy Hunter, even like the Bond of Flourishing. I've been really impressed with Bond of Flourishing. If I think I build this deck, I really want to try Bond of Flourishing out. And Vessel. Vessel's also been really good because Vessel like it's like I don't know. I really like a lot of the choices out of the Gen deck, and I'm not just saying that because I got beat by it twice. I do enjoy a lot of these choices. Mayhem Devil is like kind of an citrus card in overdrive, but I don't know if you really need it. There's like other cards you can kind of play to kind of like supplement that. All right, in a turn, Opt. Opt is I'm so glad Opt is a card now that any Jumbo players can play. I think we really lacked like just like 1 mana cantrips that were good. I'm not saying like Abduct Surge is like bad or stuff like that, but they're just that's not good. It's really not good. It's really sad that Opt and Peak were in the same format for a season. Like Opt got played way more because Opt is Opt. It's no Peak. The Peak would have been really good as well. Okay, Wrestle AC sacked here. It's gonna show Fine Broker, Bloodfell Caves, Witch's Oven, and Mayhem Devil. That's a good hit. They took the Bloodfell Cave, so all the other cards going away, but probably Necessary Evil. There's probably not a lot of lands. Just kind of reading into this, so I just took the land to have it. I mean, they don't have the Cat Oven engine going, so the Terramander right now is not super impressive. But with the Scrabbling Claws on the other side, you can't really do the sack engine. As long as Apology keeps 1 mana up. Yeah, the claws are going to prove to be quite annoying. Second, when one is good, two might be better. With two in play, it's even going to be harder to get the Cauldron engine going. Now he doesn't even have to like really. You can just turn out the graveyard and just tap it to make him remove 1 card. This Jund deck plays 12 tap lands. It's kind of crazy, and they have such a kind of lowish curve, but I guess it's kind of a necessary evil. Savvy Hunter, not a bad creature here. I would consider countering it if I were Apology. You really want to keep the board clear. You don't want the oven deck just to play bigger creatures than what you can handle right now. Like you just have this like 1/1. You don't have any other like Reinhorn Cutthroat setup yet. Attack, what? This is the time, and yeah, this is the time now. Now that the blue deck is tapped out, you can just go for a hit here. And yeah, Travel House is gonna get activated. You might mess up. Just like, oh, please mess up. Please hit the wrong card. But it's your choice. It's targets the player, not the cards in the graveyard. So you get the choice for it. And when you can make the choice, you can just make the optimal choice of not hitting your own creature. That. Doesn't get it back though. I don't like that. So you're supposed to do that now. Because now, like I said, like the thing I had in the early game before, where I had the apostle of purifying light, if Archangel goes for the activated ability of the cat, then just kind of pop a clause. But maybe that's the goal. Maybe just kind of bait out the clause because having two claws on that side, it's really hard to like get your engines going. So maybe they're trying to just bait out the claws. But if you wait, that's the thing though. If you have two active claws going, and if you just wait, then you're not going to get this. This is the time to try to bait this out. If this was your plan all along, because if you don't do anything with this familiar, they're just going to eat it normally. By just using the tap ability by next turn. Alright, I like this line here. If this resolves, you get another food to do that, but never mind. But I like the idea of like having two foods out so you can just like double activate the cat. Maybe just trying to force his Mayhem Devil, but probably not gonna work. Flash Freeze hits the devil here. Toughie. But now you can get your familiar back if this was the plan all along. If anything, they can try to force Apology's hand to maybe resolve one of their spells by using the cat. I would have liked the Man Devil on this board. It's just a 3/3 that's like pretty big. That kind of helps the rest of the game plan, so I don't know. They say they chose the familiar as the most important card out of all that. Or maybe they just weren't expecting a flash freeze. I mean, it's so easy to peek this when we're like I see all the deck. I know the deck list. I don't know their hands, but so easy. Are they going for the sacrifice? I think they're just gonna try to like. Okay, they can sack the claws now to get rid of this familiar for good. And just kind of draw a card too. I think yeah, that's exactly what they do. I think you just have to like make them do it at some point. Because the claws are just gonna eat up the cat anyway, so you might as well take something with you. And it kind of taps them down a little low, so they can only counter one spell really. So you have to understand your first spell is probably getting countered You start with the Bond. That's not a bad card. You don't mind this card getting countered. It's a Vessel. It's a pretty good draw. No one really wants to like counter a Vessel, but you might have to. I'd be so surprised to see an Annul here. Okay. A little baby comeback. It's not too bad. The Terminator though kind of threatens to activate in about 5, so it costs 3. No, I'm sorry. There's four instant sorcery, so it actually costs 4. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Mayhem Devil, another Bond, Savvy Hunter, and Duress. It's kind of sucked to hit the Duress there. They decided to take the Mayhem Devil. I kind of like Hunter here. I guess it doesn't really matter. There was just kind of 3/3s. I guess like the Savvy Hunter is like a little better. Either of them get countered by them as Mayor Glare from the Hypnotic Sprite. This card's like kind of nuts. These like adventure cards are like actually like pretty good. Right? There's 1 mana untap, so yeah, you get a free kind of spell here. I don't know if the Familiar is like the best card. Really, they've been really like what's the word? They're really prioritizing having a Familiar out, but it's not that good with like in the face of a clause. I think you really just want like big threats. That being said, they're still at 27, but this Terramander is gonna flip soon. If I flip, I mean just activate, grow. I guess grow is a better word. It's just gonna grow to a bigger sort of threat. They opted to play the Sprite. That's interesting. I guess it's not a big deal because Archangel's just like down to just drawing a card a turn, so they can just counter whatever's gonna happen here. I like the patience. You don't really need to like get rid of this Familiar. The other card that's like bad here is a Power Sink. But Essence Capture is very strong. Putting a counter on the Hypnotic Sprite. It's a silly card. This is just power creep. I can never like understand the power creep of cards and creatures. Creatures especially, but cards like Essence Capture, that was Essence Scatter back in my day. Now it's just super Essence Scatter. Safe to say that that Terramander actually could have activated last turn. Or before the attacks. 6 cards. That was actually just a 2-mana activation. There's no way you can Archangel's gonna play 2 spells, so I mean unless your camp spell was like forbid. Like that's the only thing I could see like holding a mana for. A land drop means this Terramander is turning to a 5/5. Hey, this thing is huge. That pressure's really on. Archangel's done a good job of just like building up the life total at still above 20, 25 actually, but now there's a 5/5 and a 3/2 in the air. Really not liking the chances. This is the chance just to pop the claws. Yeah, that's you've got to like stop them from gaining more and more life. Apologies, you're in complete control. Archangle's just kind of drawing one card at a turn and just hoping it works out. Blue Veil just for the fun of it. I'm surprised they brought it in. I don't think it was actually really necessary. But it's like a removal spell for like the 3/3s. So it's not bad. Cerulean Drake, I don't know. I'm not a good fan of that, but it's fine. It's just another random flyer that just like flies over all the threats. They let the vessel resolve. That's interesting. Oh, they might just have all of like power sinks. Actually, wouldn't have let this resolve. Kind of puts more things in a random graveyard. Puts a cat. It could put a cat in the graveyard, which just happened. So, and the trail's gonna come out. You got to counter this. You can't let them come back here. Although, I mean, it's gonna take a monumental effort to stop this Pteramander. It's gonna take a basic status statue. So Forbid's gonna come down. No buyback. That's really interesting. Um, I don't know if I agree with lack of buy. Oh, there's 2 status statues in the graveyard. That's tough. It's gonna be only one left deck. Apology's gonna win. Wow, 2-0 over the oven deck. Congrats to Apology. And congrats to the mono blue deck. It's pretty great. It's a lot of really wide open. Interested to see where everyone goes from here. Congrats again to mono blue, taking it down.